for a painful death, but instead, Tim got ready for a miracle.
Tim Engstrom had always considered himself healthy. So when he developed a cough in the fall of 2007, he thought nothing of it, even when family members noticed it that Thanksgiving.
I don't know, because I feel great.
But the cough got progressively worse, and Tim started having trouble breathing.
That's when I really noticed something was wrong. Diane especially noticed it and brought it up.
It was just a... And I told Tim, make sure you check that out.
Finally, Tim went to their family physician, Tom Flaming.
He was having some cough and congestion at that time, and he was complaining of some head stuffiness, and said it had been going on for a little while, but kind of an indistinct history. It wasn't real clear. And at that point, in January of 2008, we decided to do a routine chest x-ray.
I was not worried at all. I had no thought at all, no suspicion at all that anything could be wrong with my health.
The radiology report proved otherwise.
They showed some lesions. When you see something like that, it's never good. So then you're worried about anything from a pneumonia to a cancer to a TB to some sort of an unusual lesion or growth in there.
Dr. Flaming ordered a CAT scan and referred Tim to a lung specialist. Tim and Diane were shocked when they saw the scan results.
I was just looking at all of the circles and arrows and counting.
Tim's counting up. He's going 1, 2, 3. He gets up to 20. Flop, I go down on the chair, and I'm like, God, this man isn't even going to walk out of this office alive.
All I remember is that I got up to 22. And then Dr. Schultz came back in, and I said, what are all these circles and arrows? And he said, they identify the tumors. And I said, well, this is my heart. The big one down in the bottom left. No, he said, that's a tumor.
Reality started to sink in.
This man is a walking dead man.
Doctors didn't know what was in Tim's lungs.
There is no treatment. It's not like a fungal infection. It's not a bacterial infection. It doesn't indicate any cancer. So we had this lesion, but we didn't know what had caused it, how long it had been there, or where it was going.
Tim underwent a biopsy, but it was inconclusive. One thing was clear: the tumors were taking over his lungs. In recovery, Tim asked the specialist to be honest.
I want it straight, Doc. Tell me what's going on and tell me straight. He said, from what I've seen, 6 months will be a long time for you to live. Those were exact words.
I knew I was going to be a widow.
Tim was now experiencing severe pain and taking powerful medication. Although his health was deteriorating, his faith was growing.
I began to have a very strong feeling I'm not ready to die. I had great moments of faith where I know God's going to heal me. The Lord is speaking to me now in a new way, and I know He's going to heal me. I would read the Word, and God would give me promises.
There were times of doubting as well. Tim and Diane flew to Redding, California to attend a healing service at Bethel Church. But when the pain didn't go away, Tim became frustrated.
I just said, Lord, what is going on? Why did we come all the way here and you're not going to heal me? You know, what do you have in mind? And I heard the Lord's voice. I heard the Lord say, just rest. And I thought about that for a minute, and I realized I'm not here to rest. And then the Lord said again, just rest. It was emphatic.
When Tim came home, he did what God told him to do. Friends and family prayed constantly.
I put out my hands to God one day at night when Tim had gone to bed. I said, God, here's my husband. I give him to you, but you've said that we're to ask. And God, I am going to ask. I'm going to ask that you take my husband and that you give him life.
One night, over 200 people gathered at the Engstrom's church in Salem, Oregon to pray for Tim. He says it was an experience he'll never forget.
And as the prayer grew, a heat started. And I felt hot. And I don't like to be hot. And I started moving people's hands off like this, but they just came back on. That's the beginning of thinking, I am being healed.
Within a few days, Tim noticed that the pain in his chest was gone. His next routine CAT scan revealed 6 tumors had disappeared. 6 months later, he had another CAT scan.
I waited for 6 months, and then the next CAT scan is when it was revealed there's no tumors. They're gone. The Lord completely healed me. And the doctor's words to me were exactly this. The miracle here is that there is no scarring in your lungs.
This is to let people know that there is a miracle working God.
Dr. Flaming was also pleased after he read the report.
Having seen it pretty much from the other side, from a scientific approach, this is fairly unusual. It was a pleasant surprise because that doesn't usually happen.
Today, Tim's back to the active lifestyle he's always loved. He and Diane are still amazed at what God has done in their lives.
There's no getting better with this. This was a dead man. Now he's alive. Explain.
I feel extremely honored and overwhelmed sometimes. In prayer alone, I thank the Lord for touching me. And that's when I break down and I'm emotional before the Lord. He reached down and touched my life. I'm so thankful for it. I'm so thankful to be alive.